Alrighty, well, I said earlier today, before we went to go see the movies, that this was going to be a review of Heaven's Feel 1 and 2. I changed my mind, and I'm allowed to do that because it's my fucking show. So, instead of a review, we're going to basically have a discussion, kind of spoiler cast, for Heaven's Feel 1 and 2, talking about them in comparison to Bladeworks and Zero, and kind of just talking about the films thus far in anticipation of Heaven's Feel 3, which is coming next weekend, or we are going to see it next weekend. It's actually premiering for us on Wednesday. But so I will start off by saying this is Weeb Hour episode 3. This is not Weeb Reviews. This is Weeb Hour. And this is 100% a spoiler cast. We're going to spoil Heaven's Feels 1 and 2, as well as, Bladeworks, Zero, things like that. That's what this is going to be focusing on. If you have not seen them and you do not want them spoiled, save this episode for later. Because, holy fuck, there is so much that happens in these films. So, without further ado, without any more bullshit from me, my wonderful companions, Kate and Morgan, Heaven's Feel, talk. What the fuck? How do we feel about these movies?
Pretty badass. Not gonna lie.
Pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally.
So, we went to go see, so you and I, Kate, specifically, we went to go see the first one when it came to U.S. theaters. What was that, Thanksgiving 3 years ago?
Yeah. If the movie came out per year, I'd say 3, right?
Something like that. I mean, because there was a little bit more of a gap. It might have been 4, actually.
Right, because there was like a
Because
2-year gap in one of
there
them.
was a year and a half gap, and then there was going to be like another year and a half gap, but then COVID hit, so this movie got delayed by like an additional 6 months. So, really, it's been probably about, I think, 4 years since we went to go see it. So the journey that our beloved characters have been on from, before we went to go see that movie, how you saw them from Bladeworks and things like that. How did any of that perception change by seeing these fucking 2 movies?
Well, so, I mean, I guess specifically for change in perception of characters, I definitely, the most that changed was of Sakura, because of just all of that background didn't exist, or that we didn't know about.
We weren't really cognizant of it, and we never really, in Bladeworks specifically, we never really got to explore her character very much. So yeah, I mean, you'd say Sakura changed the most.
Yeah.
How do you feel, and Morgan, you can chime in here too, how do you feel about the journey Shiro's going on in the Heaven's Feel movies versus the journey he went on in Bladeworks? I mean, these are very, very different paths he's taking. Obviously in Bladeworks, choosing to uphold his ideals and fight Archer in order to become a hero of justice. And it seems like, based on the end, the second half of Heaven's Feel Part 2, it sort of feels like he's throwing all of that away. I mean, what does that kind of imply about his character? What does that really say about him? And has that kind of changed anything about how you saw the decisions he made in Bladeworks?
I don't know. I feel like he got really nerfed in the movies. Like, they just kind of, rather than him being like, follow after Kuritsugu.
Yeah.
In the, like, the math of it, the save 12 to, or, yeah, kill 1 to save 12 thing.
Yeah.
He basically was like, nah, I'm gonna just do what I want to do, specifically. And, like, save 1 and let a bunch of people die. Yeah,
because his whole thing in Bladeworks was that he didn't want to have to choose the many over the few. He wanted to save everyone. And he found Archer's and Kuritsugu's ideal, or methods of saving the world, he found them unacceptable. And that's why he rejected Archer so much, because Archer's like, well, I killed the few to save the many, but I hate myself for it. And he's like, well, I want to save everyone. And Archer's like, well, that's not possible. And Kurutsugu's like, well, that's not possible. And he's like, fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway. But obviously, yeah, he's choosing a very different path in this one. I mean, you know, what do you think about that specifically, Morgan?
I mean, so I feel like because in Blade Works and whatnot, like you said, he wanted to save everyone, but in this, he's choosing a very different path. I feel like, he's more focused on just saving Sakura and, like, the other kind of main characters throughout the plot, and he's trying to save Sakura, but Sakura is kind of really the one that's, like,
she's
causing all the bullshit.
She's the cause of the problems, if you think about it.
He's kind of putting, like, the lives of, like, the people that live in the city and whatnot at risk by keeping Sakura the way she is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's way different than in Blade Works.
It really is. And you know what it reminds me a little bit of? I'm not sure how well you guys recall the end of Zero, when Kurutsugu is in the Grail, and the Grail's saying, you know, we'll grant your wish, we'll save the world, you know, we'll weigh the lives that mean the most to you and to me as the will of the Grail, being Irisfell. We'll take the lives that mean the most and spare them and sacrifice the lives that mean less comparatively. But the thing is the Grail knew and Kurutsugu knew that the lives that meant the most to him were his wife and daughter. And he would sacrifice, you know, the Grail assumed, he would sacrifice humanity, the entire global population, to save them. Because, again, the will of the Grail was being interpreted through the filter of his wife, who was like, oh, this is my world. You, my daughter, that's my world. And he didn't just say, no, I'm not going to do that. He fucking killed them both with his bare hands in order to reject that. In order to say, no, I have to save the many. And Shiro, in a lot of ways, is, you know, his actions...
Polar opposite.
They're the polar opposite. He's doing the thing where he's like, I will risk the safety of this city and possibly the world, and I will risk recreating the disaster that created me as I am today. I will risk all of that for the one I love. And that's such an interesting kind of almost polar opposite from the way he was before.
So does it say in the movie whether or not, or do you get an inflection whether or not he knows everything that Kurutsugu did, everything like he did in the Grail,
so
or did he just get it general?
So interestingly, I mean, we'll preface this just by saying, in Heaven's Feel, that's the only of the three major timelines, being the Fate route, the Blade Works route, and the Heaven's Feel route, that's the only timeline where he really learns who Kurutsugu
Right, because he doesn't
really
in the
was.
show, does he?
No. No, he has no idea. And in this timeline, Kirei opens up and is like, oh, you know, I fought against your adoptive father in the previous war, and he won the war, and that caused this disaster. And Saber herself also comes, you know, when Shiro reveals that much, Saber's like, well, no point in me keeping it a fucking secret now. So she comes forward too and says, I fought alongside your dad. He was, you know, he betrayed the Grail. He betrayed everything. He was a merciless, ruthless, cold-hearted monster. And that's the only side of him I ever saw. And then you have Ilya, who doesn't seem to be explicitly saying it to him necessarily, but she's basically indicating, like, I joined this war to kill him and to kill you. And keeps calling him brother, so obviously, like, yeah, he's my dad and, like, a fucking deadbeat bitch.
But Shiro never really seems to catch on to that.
It's hard to say whether he does or not, because it's like, he doesn't frequently wear his emotions on his sleeve. That's an interesting thing about him, is he's kind of like, he keeps things really kind of close to the chest as far as that goes, and he'll tell you what you need to hear, but not necessarily more than that. And, you know, we can see in both this and in Blade Works, he keeps his true feelings towards Rin, towards Sakura, towards Saber. He keeps them hidden until he can't. So even if, you know, and plus we saw how he took the news that his dad was a fucking murderous assassin. He took that pretty well in stride. So yeah. I'm assuming Ilya being like, he was a deadbeat too, we'd probably be like, well, you know, I mean, we all got our shit, right? I
feel like he sees more sides of, like, he isn't looking at, like, he's the ruthless, cold-hearted monster who killed his wife and his daughter. He's looking at it like, okay, this is the guy who, like, gave up what he loved the most in the world to save the world.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess in answer to your question, I don't think anyone but Kurutsugu and possibly Kirei, like possibly Kirei, is aware of what took place within the Grail when Kurutsugu was in the Grail.
Right.
Because the only indication that we get that Kirei may have seen it is Kurutsugu comes out of the Grail, he rejects it, comes out, and Kirei gets up and he's like, why did you reject it? And then Kurutsugu's like, you saw all that? And then rather than answering his question, Kirei says, you know, after coming this far, after working this hard, after doing everything you've done, why did you reject it? And then Kurutsugu's kind of like, well, it's no miracle granter, it's no omnipotent wish granting device, it's a monkey's paw, it's a curse. You know, it's a joke. And then Kirei's like, well, give it to me. So it's hard to say. I mean, I would lean more toward Kirei probably didn't see everything that took place with Kurutsugu inside the Grail. Probably Kurutsugu and Angra are the only ones who knew what happened in there. And we're now seeing Angra kind of getting a will of their own through Sakura, in a sense. You know, being able to come out and start being able to actually have an impact on the story.
So why her? Why Sakura?
Why Sakura? What seems to be, so I know a little bit more, because obviously I've done a lot of reading into Fate lore, so I think I have a pretty good idea of like why the Grail is manifesting through her. But what we get revealed in the movies is that Zoken did something at the end of the previous war. And the result of that was that Sakura was imbued with a piece of the Grail in some capacity. And the reason he did this is because he was trying to open a back door to be able to access the Grail without having to go through the correct channels. But what he didn't seem to understand is these gates, these gateways that exist, you know, these protocols, they don't just exist to keep people from being able to get to the contents of the Grail. They also are there to make sure the contents of the Grail don't find their way back out. And I think he realized all too late what that meant. And the only character that seems to know or have a clue what's really going on is Kirei. And again, Kirei's in this position, much like in a lot of the other Fate roots, like, he's in this position where he seems to be holding a lot more cards than everybody's aware of. You know, and his whole spiel towards Gilgamesh in the church, when he says, you know, the new Grail's about to be born, you know, one born of man, born of their sins, but not wanted by them. You know, one of evil, one of hatred, one of Angra. You know, he seems to be very keenly aware, at least to some degree, of what is coming out of the Grail. And he seems to welcome it. You know, he even said, you know, should it sin against God, I will question even my Lord until my death. And, you know, his whole thing is like he wants to see this miracle fulfilled above anything else. His loyalty is to his wish, which he seems to weirdly kind of believe the Grail is granting. When it was destroyed at the end of Zero, you know, and the mud spilled out, the curses spilled out, caused the city to burn. He believed that that was in some form his wish being granted. But he never kind of outright says that. He kind of is just like, oh, this is what was in me all along. This is what I desired. The Grail knew, and this came out. Clearly, this must be my deepest inner desire. Am I really this much of a monster? Did my father sire a cur? You know, and it's like, he's this twisted evil monster, and he's even like, I would put, you know, he basically views the omnipotence of the Grail as being more valuable to him than God, which is an interesting arc for his character from the beginning of Zero, where Reset, his dad, even says, you know, my son would jump into a fire if the church commanded him to. You know, he's... I mean, well, I guess he went from one zealot to another, but...
Yeah.
He remained an extremist
I was gonna say, he
throughout.
went from, like, something that you have little to no evidence for to something that burned a city. So, like, you know...
I mean, at least he's, you know... At least he's willing to question things.
Yeah.
If the Grail blasphemes against God, well, fuck you, God. What have you done for me lately? It's kind of like what he's...
That is true.
It's kind of what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it. So, as far as... Like, let's talk servants.
I really like Assassin.
Assassin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not the one that died at the beginning,
you
obviously.
like fucked up characters, though. You
yeah,
like fucking
dude,
Bluebeard.
Caster.
You like
Bro.
Bluebeard.
Bluebeard?
Caster.
Don't
Oh.
even talk about Bluebeard.
Oh,
he is so
Bluebeard.
badass. I loved
him
Bluebeard.
and his mage
Rinosuke.
are just...
They're so cute
They're
together.
so cute.
I'm
They're
sorry,
adorable.
I sound like,
like
a total weeb
just
right now.
just
but...
the pure fucked up bond of like, you are just as bloodlusty as me and you don't judge me and you respect me is just like just such a pure impure relationship, you know? There's just something about it that's just so sweet. Is like, I found someone who understands me fully.
I would honestly probably give my firstborn to Bluebeard if he asked.
Well, he'd just feed it to Cthulhu, so...
Shit happens, man. I mean, if that's what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
I can be homies with him.
But yeah, I mean, well, Assassin... I kind of understand where you're coming from, because Assassin's loyalty to Zoken...
Yeah, it's the same kind of vein.
It's that same idea.
He's like,
of
do
like,
you think I'm
you're
disgusting?
a monster, but I'm a monster too. And we find this camaraderie within that. You know, the rest of the world may reject us, but, you know, we have each other. If nothing else, we have each other. I just wish that they wouldn't go and fucking force that ideology on the rest of the world. If they want to go be fucked up, they can go be fucked up alone on an island. You know, they don't need to be
Start a
involving
cult.
so many other fucking people.
I would love to be fucked up alone on an island. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
You don't have to put that in if you don't want to, but I'm just speaking my mind.
So
I'm really excited to see who he's Caster. Or not Caster,
Right.
Assassin.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
who's he gonna be?
He's one of the Hassan. He's clearly one of the Hassan. Very much like the Hassan of the 100 Faces that was Kirei's servant in Zero. He's one of the Hassan.
Did the other Hassan also have like the face hiding thing?
How do you
pretty
mean,
sure
the
they did.
100
Mask?
Face? Yeah, they all had the masks.
Like in
yeah,
Okay,
all
okay.
100. They all had the same.
Because then you couldn't tell the difference between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could because you could see their body shapes and they were all very, very different. But like, but yeah, that's a trademark of the Hassan. So he is one of them. He's not one of the 100 because that was all one guy with multiple personalities. That's what his whole servant's deal was. But he is another of the Hassan, another of the Old Man of the Mountain. So, I mean, this probably isn't going to matter. I can spoil who he is.
Oh, do you know who he is?
I know who he is. He's
Will I know?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
He's Hassan of the Cursed Arm. Yeah, no, he's basically he's just another one of the Hassan. Now, his whole deal was he, I believe, traded his soul to a demon in order to receive the demon's arm as in place of his own, which is cursed arm. And the arm curses, it basically he's a noble phantasm and he's able to materialize. If he touches your chest, he's able to materialize your heart and crush it. But it's a cursed arm of death, and he received it from a demon, I believe, in exchange for his soul. Now I don't know if it was a demon, quote unquote. I think it was more whatever the maybe a jinn or something. Whatever the fuck. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so crucified for this. Whatever the Muslim version of a demon would be. I think a jinn. I think it is a jinn. Whatever.
Okay, can we just talk about one thing real quick?
What?
Why the fuck did he crawl out of Assassin's chest?
I can actually answer that.
Yeah, I'm so curious on that.
Yeah, so here's the reason why. Medea broke the rules. Medea was caster.
Yeah, the caster.
She summoned a servant. Now, it was a false servant, but it was still occupying the slot that the true servant should have been. So with false assassin Sasaki, with Sasaki still in play, Zoken could not summon true assassin. And I believe
you were right, it's a djinn.
Yeah. I believe that the reason he climbed out of Assassin's body is because I believe Zoken in some manner used Assassin's body as like a sort of pseudo summoning circle / catalyst, because again he couldn't just use a normal summoning circle. He had to, because there was already somebody there, so he had to use Assassin's being
as a summoning circle
in order to summon his servant. Now that's the other thing about that is that's why Assassin confronted Medea, because he couldn't leave, because false assassin Sasaki's whole thing was he couldn't leave the front gate. That was one of the terms of his summoning. In order, one of the loopholes that she had to implement basically in order to be able to summon a servant was he had to be bound to that location. So when Hassan came out, when Assassin shows up, he has to go to Medea and he has to say, "You need to release me." That's his whole thing. Is he needs her to release the contract she has with him so he can make his contract with Zoken. In so doing, that also sets him free from having to stay within that boundary. And it lets him take out another master-servant pair at the same time. So it's a win-win-win in a lot of ways. So yeah, essentially the reason Assassin climbs out of Sasaki's chest is because Sasaki's body was basically used, his core was used to summon the true assassin. And that scene's still so fucked. That scene's so fucked up.
It's really creepy.
Just, and the way he fucking kills the two of them too, it's just ruthless. It's that if nothing else, that scene alone shows you the fundamental difference between the Heaven's Feel route and the Bladeworks route. Because up until that point, you're like, oh, it's, it's good, it's, cute, and it's got Sakura instead of Rin, blah, blah, blah. And then you see that scene, and you're like, oh, fuck. That's fucked up.
it takes a turn immediately and then just doesn't stop.
Yeah, and that and the fight with Berserker at the beginning, you know, cut off her head and violate her, and then like the fact that when Shiro gets hit, it shows his fucking intestines becoming out-testines. It's just, it's Heaven's Feel it's on a level of its own.
It's like they were like, let's make it more like Zero, but like more than that.
Yeah, well, because it was going, you know, theater, it was a theater release, they could get away with showing more. Yeah, I mean, you do get to meet Assassin, which is cool. You get to see...
It's kind of sad how short he lasts. The other before.
Sasaki? Who are you talking about?
The assassin that dies.
Yeah, Sasaki, the false assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a cool character, but you get to see a fair bit of him in Blade Works. So it's like he still got his moment. And he kind of completed his arc, in a sense, in Blade Works. He was kind of like, I was summoned here without a goal, without a dream, because I'm not even a real person. And, you know, my fight with you, Saber, is what gave my life meaning. And I just wanted to see that through. Which he does, and he loses. But it is a shame, though, because in the visual novel, from everything I understand, in the visual novel, he actually, like, he fights off basically every other servant. He defends Castor's temple, because everybody knows where Castor is. Mm-hmm. But he literally defends the temple against Berserker, Lancer, Archer, which we saw like a tiny bit of, Saber, and yeah, I think that would be it. But yeah, he literally like defends not Ryder, yeah. So he defends the freaking thing. He goes toe to toe with every other servant. Mm-hmm. And he wins every fight. And it's like, and that's interesting, you know, it's why Lancer in Blade Works, you know, they have that moment where it's like, oh, you know, worst case scenario, Assassin might show up too. And Lancer's like, well, honestly, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't want to go against that guy just one-on-one, but, you know, I don't think he's going to show up because he's tethered to that other location. So,
pretty good for a guy who doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's a shame that he's, like, so overlooked in a lot of the Fate franchise as a whole. It's a damn shame. He really gets shafted. But I like that you get to see more of Archer being a badass. Because, like, let's be honest. That scene before he sacrifices himself, that's some, like, fucking top tier. That's triple S tier badassery.
Every single fight scene in this movie, like, had my jaw on the floor.
They were so
every single one is so
good.
Intricate and, like, definitely so much work and thought and skill went behind it.
Even the 3-second fight between Medusa and whatever.
That was yeah.
Fuck it. I was gonna like be like, oh shit, I shouldn't say her name.
Oh, Medusa.
We know it's Medusa.
Yeah.
Even the 3-second fight between Medusa.
Yeah, she takes her mask off in the movie.
The 3-second fight between fucking Medusa and Saber. Even that's like, whoa.
Well, then because you're like, oh my god, she's awesome.
You're like, yo, Saber's 110% done dealing with people's bullshit right now. Which is interesting.
Just goes to show how weak
Ryder was.
No, the master.
Shinji?
Yeah, Shinji.
Yeah, Shinji's a little bitch.
Fuck Shinji.
Fuck Shinji.
I hate him so much.
How do we feel? Okay, well, actually, that's a good transition. How do we feel about the way he died?
Fitting that it was her that killed him.
I'm very conflicted about it.
Oh.
He
fucking totally deserved it.
Well, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to die.
He sure did.
He did deserve to die.
He did deserve to die in, like, a worse, more painful, slow way.
Well, I'm more concerned about the effect that it had on Sakura.
Yeah.
Because she in that moment...
Yeah, she was like, yeah.
She resigned the last of her humanity. Mm-hmm. That was when she fully gave herself over to the Grail, to Anger to Mind You. So... The scene is cathartic to watch. Because you're like, yes, finally this fuck gets what's coming to him, you know? But at the same time, it's like, oh, but at what cost?
Yeah.
It's like, god damn it, now Sakura's a fucking vessel of Angermainu, and all this bullshit's gonna happen, and it's...
Yeah.
And it sucks that it, like, happened after the rape.
Yeah. Well,
it couldn't have happened
like,
before.
Yeah. So there's the thing about that is like it's obviously it's really subtle because it's a movie and that's messed up. So, but it doesn't seem there's no indication that he like is doing more before that than like being on her and like saying creepy things. It doesn't seem to or at least what I saw didn't seem to imply that he was like actively raping her. It seemed like he was going to, and then she killed him. From what I saw.
No, so, because I've seen that movie a bunch of times.
I agree with Kate.
It didn't like...
He did. He does...
Is it just, like,
he does
very,
it because
very
here's the thing.
subtly implied?
There's a moment where it's, like, he goes and he pushes her down and, like, you know, just tears the thing, and then there's that cut to her internal thoughts.
Right.
Where she's like, why does the world hate me? Now, that cut indicates a passage of time.
Right.
And then... it cuts back to him kind of on her, breathing heavily and going,
right,
I'm going to tell Emiya all about
right,
this.
That's fair.
Oh, it was so obscene. I can't wait to tell him all about this, you know.
What a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, and it's really just twisted because it's like... they actually changed the subtitles in this from when we originally saw it. They changed them very subtly. But they changed them in a few places, and I think they might have even changed a couple of scenes in the first movie.
I was thinking, and this is a little thing, but like both of the end songs were different, right?
End songs were the same. End songs were definitely well, they were different from each other because they weren't.
Well, yeah,
but yeah, no, the ending songs, and I know this because I have both of them on Spotify.
Okay, well,
I listen to them
then,
because
yes.
I like to feel feelings that I don't want to feel.
Don't we?
But no, so like for instance, this scene right after he does what he does, he in the original run, he says, it's very clearly implied based on what he says that they just had sex because he says, you know, and tell him all about how obscene our intercourse was. In the showing in this one we just watched, he said how obscene our intercourses were.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he in the original showing only says that one. He's gonna tell him about that one that he just finished doing.
Oh, so this time around they implied that. I feel like it was already implied that
it
this
was
was
implied
a
that they've done it
plurality.
more times. That it's been implied that this is a consistent thing, but they made it more clear
that it was in
this is not the first time, and if Shinji has his way about it, it won't be the last. Also, can I just say for a second, I love that right after Shinji dies, and she's like, Nissan, like it cuts to Zoken just in the basement going, ha. And then it really cuts back to her.
He's like, good on ya.
It literally cuts to him just so he can go, heh, heh, heh. And then cuts right back to her.
I didn't catch that. That's pretty... He's like, finally died, huh?
It's just so, like... It seems
he really doesn't care about his grandchildren?
He didn't care about his son either.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so Shinji's his grandson.
Grandson, okay.
Hey, which is... Okay, so here's another weird thing. Zoken is like 240 years old.
Yeah, he's bugs.
he is one of the three who started the Grail War. Like, one of the three literal people.
Yeah, he... And Ilya was talking to him about that.
She was not there. He said, "Oh, they've pre-programmed you." Now, she was speaking through, for a moment, basically that message, that voice that was coming through her, was that of, let's see if I can remember her goddamn name. Basically the original Einspurn homunculus that became the Greater Grail.
So the one before Kuretsugu's wife.
Long before her.
Okay.
Long before her. Every Ainsburn homunculus since is a copy of her. Oh my god, it's literally right on the tip of my tongue. The hell is her name? It's, Okay, give me 2 seconds, because I need to look this up.
I didn't even realize you were wearing your,
Yeah, I'm wearing my Blade Works
Fate
champ
shirt.
shirt. I love it.
So wait, let
Yeah.
me just say something real quick.
Yep.
You said the grandfather is 240 years old?
Yep.
So how is he a kid in Zero?
Nobody's... What are you talking about?
You
He's not
said-
a kid in Zero.
Well, no. So you said he was Kuretsugu was like talking to like his dad or something and saying that he'd jump in a fire for the church.
Okay, no. Kirei. Kirei was a younger man in Zero. We're talking about Zoken. Zoken being the bug grandfather.
Oh, okay.
creepy bug dude.
Yeah.
He's pretty hot.
Yeah, Ainsburn, Tosaka, and Makiri. Alright, so I found it. Sorry. So, yes. The original Ainsburn, the one that the message that was playing through Ilya came from, her name is Justice. And she became the Greater Grail. So in a sense, she still is around as well, but I don't know if her consciousness is, because
Well, they're all the same one, basically, so I guess it makes sense that she can, like, kind of talk through...
well, it's hard because she became the Greater Grail, not the Lesser Grail. So when we saw Irie turn into the cup at the end of Zero, Irie became the Lesser Grail, the tiny little cup. The Greater Grail...
What's the
doesn't-
difference? Why is there two?
Because the Lesser Grail is basically the key to unlock the power of the Greater Grail. The Greater Grail is the thing that has a will, that has the power to summon the servants. The Greater Grail is the thing that provides the power. The Lesser Grail is basically the doorway to access it, much in the same way that Sakura is being turned into a Lesser Grail.
Okay.
So Sakura isn't being transformed into a Greater Grail. She's being transformed into a Lesser Grail.
Okay.
And the Greater Grail still exists and doesn't move. It's in one location in Fuyuki, which is why the Grail War always has to take place in Fuyuki. It's in one location.
They all commute to it.
Yeah, basically. And it's hidden. And only very few people actually know where the Greater Grail actually resides. But, essentially, yeah. So, the one speaking through Ilya in that scene to Zoken was Justice. And Justice and Zoken were joined by the Tosaka, the head of the Tosaka, the first Tosaka mage. But the two of them were already kind of planning to start to create the Holy Grail before he joined, in a sense. And the two, they had this dream of creating a utopia or something like that. And what happened is Justice sacrificed herself to become the Grail to do it. Zoken wanted to achieve this utopia. And Tosaka, the original Tosaka, wanted to reach the root. And they kind of, when they found out that they couldn't do all of it, they fought. Which spawned the Grail Wars. And then they started summoning servants because they're like, oh, well, we need something to fill the Grail. We need mana, of the pure, high-quality mana to fill the Grail with. So we're going to just summon the great heroes from the past and you sacrifice their souls to use as the thing. Well, when they first started doing that, they didn't have any command seals or anything. So they summoned the servants, and the servants went, fuck you. And they went off and did their own shit.
And
So then they're like, well, fuck. We need to fix this. So the next Grail War,
well,
they developed the command seals.
so you're saying that because of the first Grail War, somewhere they're just kind of...
They might have been... Well, so here's the thing. More than likely, they probably aren't still around because they still require mana
Right.
to exist, to maintain
So they probably like
corporeal
died
form.
when the.
So yeah, either that or you know the summoners, the ones who summoned them originally, probably broke their pacts and no longer provided mana to them, and they just phased out of existence. Or you know, if any of them didn't, they were probably hunted down. You know, you can't really just have legendary heroes strutting around and
Yeah.
I mean, I almost said, you know, strutting around in the modern day, but it wouldn't have been the modern day. It would have been like the 1700s something. So, but yeah, you know, then they developed the command seals, which Zoken did, which is why, you know, which is what Rin hints at, and she says, "Oh, the Zokans are the ones that created the command seals." Those weren't created until I think it was either the second or third Grail War where they realized that they needed the command seals so that the servants would actually obey them.
Yeah.
And yeah, lots of chaos ensued, but long story short, essentially, yeah, that was a moment where Justice was speaking through Ilya's body to Zoken and saying, "You've forgotten, you know, it's so sad, you've forgotten our dream, you've forgotten why we started this, why we wanted to do this." Because he's like, "Oh, my dream is for eternal youth, that's what I want, I want to become young forever."
What a dumb wish.
The only reason he wants that now, from everything I understand about him, is he originally had this other dream, but he kept having to wait 60 years between Grail Wars to try to achieve his dream. Well, 3 wars, you're already well past the oldest living person that's ever existed. Even 2 wars, like, you know, so in a sense, it's like he got to this point where he was doing all of these desperate measures to keep his body together that he eventually kind of went insane and sort of forgot why he kept chasing the Grail and started to think to himself, because all he started thinking about was, I need to stay alive, I need to stay alive. And originally it was, I need to stay alive so I can win the Grail so I can accomplish my dream. But eventually it became, I need to win the Grail so I can stay alive. And that's why his dream now is, oh, I want eternal youth. But that's not what he always wanted. And that's what Justice is hinting at. She's saying, you know, you've fallen so far from where we began, and you know, you've forgotten our dream. You know, and Zoken's like, fuck you, you pre-programmed stupid bitch, I don't have to listen to you. And it's tragic in a way, because it's like, it takes this character that's so
gross,
inexcusably vile and evil and irredeemable, and it adds an element of humanity to them that it's like, I don't know if I wanted this.
Right, you were someone with a dream.
Yeah, and I wonder how Heaven's Feel 3, I wonder how much of Zoken it's really going to show us. True Zoken. I wonder if we're going to get to learn any of this about him. I hope so. Because I'd like to, you know, I have always said the Fate series does something that so many other series don't do. Every character gets deep exposition and gets their own motivations and their own fleshing out of their character and things like that. And we haven't really gotten to see that with Zoken. We just seen Zoken as this evil, sadistic, just psycho killer who just, he's after one thing. Human life has no value to him whatsoever, except for his own. Even that of his own child and his own grandkids. You know, and all he wants is the Grail. And all he wants from the Grail is eternal youth. But, like, I want to see that other side of him because I know it exists, because I've read about it. And I really, really hope they do that in the next movie. But yeah, the whole reason I got on this whole diatribe is because, yeah, Shinji's dad, who was tortured, maybe killed by Kirutsugu in Zero, which is a little hilarious. His dad is, I believe, Zoken's biological child. I think. And so was Karya, who fought as the master of Berserker in Zero. those I believe were actually Zokin's children, but he was already like 200 years, like 180, 200 years old by the time he had them. So, like, does he even have a body at that point to have kids? Like, I don't...
No.
It's hard to track.
Yeah.
It's hard to track. Zokin's gross.
Yeah.
I really wish Archer had succeeded when he cut his fucking head off.
That's such a cheater loophole. I hate it. Like, oh, you can't kill him, he's bugs.
I mean, there is a way to kill him, but it's like...
Kill all the bugs.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Kill all the bugs.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Like, I'm saying all the bugs, like all the dungeon bugs.
Every bug.
All the bugs.
just eradicate every insect on the planet
Let's just kill
Earth.
all bugs.
Yeah, fuck bugs.
Fuck bugs. Ah, God, I hate that, like, some of his bugs are, like, actually just, like, big, more evil mosquitoes.
Yeah, that, and some of them don't even look like bugs. They're just, like, those things that, like, fell out of his
the crest
dress.
worms. Those are crest worms.
Oh, God.
Those
exist?
Those are the things... No, not in real life,
okay,
no.
okay.
Those are the things that, like, are in Sakura.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
It's pretty cute.
Okay.
I like my girls with bugs.
I like
yeah, so
good crest worm.
fun fact, the original concept art, and I don't remember if it's in the VN or not, but the original concept art for the crestworms made them look so much more dick-like, just to make Sakura's whole thing even more disturbing.
Love that.
Yeah. They still look like dicks, though. But they look like dicks facing the wrong direction. Their mouth is on the wrong end.
Yeah.
Because they got the... Yeah. Anyway.
No, but I would...
Oh my God.
I'd expect it to, like, be the balls end, you know?
Well, what I mean is, like, it's not, like... They don't move... Like, when they slink around, they don't go forward. They go backwards.
Oh, wow.
Like...
Well, that's creepy.
Anyway, let's not talk about penis worms anymore. I don't want to have this conversation at all. I don't want to have this conversation at all.
I don't like those worms.
And, like, I can't help the intrusive thoughts when, like, Shiro and fucking Sakura are making love. It's like, is he gonna get a little kiss?
There's a worm, right? Like, there's
your face right now.
There is a worm, though, right?
Just puts it in.
When...
I'm going to hell.
For some reason, I feel like the crestworms sound like Morgan Freeman.
What are you talking about?
I feel like if they had a voice, they'd be like a little Morgan Freeman.
They'd talk very Morgan Freeman.
like one of the crestworms comes out of Sakura's cooch and it's just like,
Christ.
I can smell you.
I can smell you. No. Stop.
Just like in Morgan Freeman's voice.
Oh my God, I don't want.
I have to find Morgan Freeman saying, I can smell you.
I don't think that's a thing you're gonna be able to find, but good luck. I want to get off this topic.
Okay.
Saber Alter and her fight with Berserker.
Wait.
I can smell you.
I don't like this at all. I don't like this.
Connor.
Where did you find? Is that just like a Morgan Freeman
It
voice?
It probably was a
thing?
line in something.
I can smell you.
Please don't. Is that like a voice,
No, it's
like a
probably
thing
just
that
line.
you type?
He's been in a lot of
No,
movies.
that's literally like a real thing.
I don't believe it. What movie is it from?
I don't fucking know.
I think that's bullshit.
Wait.
I think that's probably somebody used. It's probably somebody used some AI or some shit.
Hunted by Morgan Freeman, The Hidden. Oh wait, what? Oh, never mind. That's just a YouTube video. Never mind.
I don't like you.
Morgan Freeman chats with Jimmy while sucking on helium.
What?
Anyway, no, we're not doing that. So,
I love Jimmy.
Okay. I need to get this fucking derailed ass motherfucking train back on the tracks. Saber Alter's fight with Berserker. That fucking fight.
Right. Oh my God.
Literally.
Berserker does not quit.
No. And, like, it's so interesting when you look at that movie right after seeing the first one. Because in the first one, you see the fight between regular Saber and Berserker.
Mm-hmm.
And she, like...
She eats shit.
Yeah. And even the move where he punches her, the thing that almost ends the fight, before Shira jumps in the way like an idiot, the thing that he does to kind of catch her off guard, he tries to do that to Salter, and she just catches it, and then fucking punches him in his own jaw with his own fist before just annihilating him with her noble phantasm. It's like, oh my tits! What just happened?
She's cool.
She's a fucking savage. It's so interesting because it goes to show the clear power discrepancy between, like, Salter and regular Saber when, like... Saltier, yeah. But even, like, if you recall the fight with Gilgamesh and Berserker in Bladeworks, like, that fight... He basically just sword spanned at Berserker, and Berserker wound up losing because he kept trying to defend Ilya. But, like... yeah, and then Ilya got fucking, you know, she got shampoo in her eyes, and... She got her fucking eyeballs carved out by Gilgamesh, but God. I keep seeing memes of, like, her, like, holding her face like that. It's like that moment you get shampoo in your eyes, and I'm like, no! The poor
That's
baby!
Fucked up.
You know, you have this... Why do you guys think Saber Alter was so much more powerful? Because, like, I have
because of the shadow.
Theory.
I have a theory. I have such a theory.
Yeah.
So, servants base their kind of strength, or not really base, or yeah, kind of base their strength off of the masters that are.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. A weak master can't support, you know, a very strong servant.
Basically, yeah, like a servant is weaker with a weak master, a servant is stronger with a strong master. I feel like the amount of energy coming, like, that the shadow can supply is just it's just
we'll take that because that's
insane.
Similar to my theory. So now take that one step further, because what is the shadow?
Oh,
it's the
Sakura.
Grail.
It's shadow is the Grail. Well,
You're fucking stupid, kid.
Jesus Christ.
She's way weaker than the Grail.
Yeah.
Sakura.
But no,
She's pretty strong. I don't know.
Suck.
She is very powerful. She's an extraordinarily powerful mage. But no, I mean,
but it's
basically
the Grail.
Here's the thing. Is like
the Grail is the master.
Yeah, basically now take your cell phone and be like, oh, I need to charge my phone. You plug it into an outlet at your wall, right? And it's like, oh, it charges, whatever. But now take it and just like take it out and like plug it directly into one of the fucking transformers on an electrical pole, and like
then it'll
it's gonna blow up your phone. Now go to like a power plant, plug it directly into the fucking base of the power plant. That's now
and
where
then
your
power plant will.
Yeah, that's my iPhone is too powerful. Blew up your power plant. That's basically
the only thing that could do that is a Nokia.
Fuck iPhone.
A Nokia.
Sorry.
But that's basically what Salter is she is hardwired directly. She has a direct line to the power of the Grail, which the Grail draws its power from two sources. It draws its power from defeated servants, and it draws its power also in some sense from the root. So if you think about it, Saber Alter in some capacity is being powered directly by the root, which is the source of magic. And that means that she can kind of just spam her noble phantasm as many times as she wants with no consequence.
Right.
It's like, oh, fuck. It's so... I mean, she won that fight, but like... And it's hard to say, because like part of me wants to say, if it was a fair fight where she couldn't just spam her noble phantasm as many times as she want, oh, Berserker would have won. But that's hard to say, because...
I feel like in that sense, Berserker would have definitely won, because in the first fight, he was kind of fucking her up, and in the second fight, like, his regeneration and the amount of, like, pure anger that he had over, like, the bullshit with
Ilya.
Ilya.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he definitely probably would have won that fight.
I want to say so, but then I have to take a second, and I have to take a step back, and I have to look at the times he did get hits on her. She was utterly unaffected. Literally, he grabbed her head, and he freaking Hulk Loki'd her on the ground, like, a bunch of times. He grabbed her, dragged her body through one of the castle towers down to the ground.
I love when he took the fucking top of it and he's just
running. Yeah, he was running with the top of the tower. He just whips it at her.
But that was, like, the Grail-powered saber. If it was normal
Oh, no.
saber,
If it was normal saber, she would have lost. But what I'm saying is, if, like, let's assume it was Saber Alter, but not able to just unleash her Noble Phantasm all the time. Could she have beat Berserker?
Oh, yeah, no, she would fuck him up.
But... Because it's hard to know how much damage resistance Saber Alter has, and whether is that because of the Grail, that because of
I think it's because
just
of the Grail.
Innately a feature of Alter servants. I guess we're gonna find out because we're gonna get to see Berserker Alter in the next movie.
What?
Yeah.
There's.
Well, he
They
got
all
swallowed
have
by
an
the Grail.
Well,
he
that's
got
Wait,
taken.
so do we get to see
You want to finish your fucking thought?
Spit it out, bitch.
do we get to see
Archer.
Lancer?
no, yeah. Because he got swallowed too.
But he got his heart taken.
No, listen. It's hard. I don't know for sure. I haven't seen him in any of the trailers, but I've heard rumors that Lancer could theoretically appear in the next movie as an alter. I would love to see that. I don't know that we will, though, and the biggest reason
I don't think so.
I don't think we will, and the reason I don't think we will is because I think the third movie is going to have so much shit that it's already going to be trying to do, and that it's going to be trying to show in 2 hours, that it's probably just not going to have time to get into that. I know Berserker Alter is going to be in it because he's been in the previews, and he looks even angrier, if you can believe it, than he already
the Alter's
was.
angrier? Weird.
But it's like, I'm just trying to picture an angrier version of Berserker, and like nothing comes to mind. It's like a 404 error.
No, yeah, he's already like pretty much max angry.
Yeah. Would you say that Zero Berserker is, or Stay Night Berserker is angrier? Who would you say is a more rage-filled being?
Stay Night.
You think Stay Night?
He has a reason.
Well, I don't remember.
Well, so did Lancelot from,
Oh.
yeah, Lancelot from
I
fucking
would say-
Zero.
I
The
would
Black
say-
Knight, the fucking shadow thing that was so perpetually angry
I'd
that
say
he
he
couldn't
had
stop
more.
shaking.
I'd say he had more.
I forgot
anger.
about that one. For some reason, I was thinking of the
His
movie
resting-
versus show.
His resting state was just shivering. He's just shivering with rage.
So who would win in a fight, Lancelot or Berserker, or Stay Night Berserker?
Lancelot or Heracles? Probably Heracles. I think Heracles could beat Lancelot.
I don't know.
I think Heracles could comfortably beat Lancelot.
No, because Lancelot can like slow down time, and all Berserker really
No, he can't.
is.
No, he can't. He didn't slow down time.
Yeah, remember
He's
when?
really agile,
Well, that's what I mean.
but he didn't slow down time. Well, Berserker, Heracles is not as agile, but also extraordinarily agile. He was easily able to
Even
get
though he's like,
the drop on Saber numerous times in both Bladeworks and Heaven's Feel. And Saber beat Lancelot in single combat. So I would say Lancelot would look like he was having had the advantage at first, but I think Heracles is frankly just too fucking powerful and has way too much damage resistance. I don't think anything Lancelot could bring to the table would actually be able to do enough damage to him to take away even one of his lives, let alone all 12. So that's where I stand on that. I think Lancelot might be a more rage-filled being, But I think Heracles' anger, especially in Heaven's Feel, you see his rage coming from a desire to protect Ilya. I don't know that Berserker's angry. I think he's just protective. Oh, he's angry. He's very angry. But I think he's more protective than Lancelot.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like that's going to be stronger.
Yeah, no, I 100% think so. But as far as the question I asked earlier about who's angrier, I think Lancelot definitely is angrier, but I think Berserker is stronger.
Yeah.
And again, that's only just because, like, Lancelot's really agile, but his weapon, Lancelot's weapon that he has is just his broadsword. He can pick up something else and use it as a weapon, but even that, he used a frickin' Barrett 50 as his Noble Phantasm in Zero. Do you remember that scene in the car park, in the parking garage? Where, Saber first goes down there, and he just starts boom, 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 just, like, hip-firing a fucking Barrett at her.
No.
Yeah, he's hip-firing a fucking M107 at her, and then, like...
He's trying to trick shot, leave him alone.
Yeah, and then she cuts it in half, and she goes in for a strike, and then he fucking just pulls an MP5 out of his ass and starts lighting up the room.
That's, cheating.
And then he took an entire jet as a Noble Phantasm. You remember that when he fought? Yeah, he took the whole ass jet to be his Noble Phantasm, and then when the jet got destroyed by Gilgamesh, he fucking took the Vulcan cannon out of the jet and used it as Noble Phantasm. For one of
adaptive.
For one of Arthur's Knights of the Round Table, he's certainly has an affinity for fucking guns.
Yeah.
Can't imagine why. I don't know where that comes from, but fuck,
where do you
I
know
guess.
what a gun is? Time traveler, it's fine.
Medusa. We get to actually see her. She gets screen
I do
this
really
one.
like that. She's so cool.
She's neat.
I like her outfit.
I know you do. I mean,
Who doesn't?
like I do too. It's pretty.
Shut the fuck up.
It's pretty nice
okay.
outfit.
It's pretty good. It's pretty high. It's pretty good. It's pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks great. BDSM mommy. I love her.
BDSM mommy.
I don't like this.
Step on me.
Okay, we're not.
Please
We're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore. Not having this. I just realized this is your inaugural episode of the podcast. People are gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this chick? And why is she not on more?" But no, I mean, yeah, she's we still don't get to see what she rides. I'll say that much for starters.
Oh, I could tell you. I could tell you a couple things.
Patrick made that exact joke verbatim when we recorded the episode of Zero.
I'm sure he did.
Verbatim.
I don't know what verbatim means.
Word for word. He made that exact joke. I was like, yeah, we never got to see Medusa ride anything. He's like, oh, I can imagine what she rides.
Oh my god.
I mean, the joke writes itself,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
but yeah. It's cool that you get to... It's like... You see her get her ass kicked twice.
But that wasn't her fault.
And when she's under Shinji's command. And then you see her kick ass once. And then you see her do fucking nothing. And just watch Archer get fucked up by the shadow for like 10 minutes. And she just shows up right at the end to be like, yo, what are you doing cutting your arm off, bro? And he's like, fuck off. You just got here. You could have fucking helped, maybe.
Nah. Too dangerous.
I don't get that. That made me a little upset, genuinely. Because she's like, oh, go make sure he comes back safe. And she's like, yeah, cool, I will. And then Shiro gets his arm fucked up and blown off. And she shows up to be like, yo, why are you giving him your arm? It's like you were literally ordered to bring him back safely.
Do you want to give him your arm?
You were literally ordered to do that. Also, can I talk for like 1 second? Can I talk for 1 second about the scene in the bathtub with Shiro?
What, the arm
With
one?
the arm.
Like, what you were explicitly told that if you take it off, that You'll
You'll
explode.
collapse from the inside. You'll turn into a fucking black hole.
Yeah.
And
And he's like,
he gets
fine.
in the back and he's like, what would happen if I remove this? Maybe my arm's back to normal now. What? What's fucking wrong with you, you dumbass?
Wishful thinking.
I love Shiro. I really love Bladeworks Shiro. I have nothing but love from a boy here. But goddamn, he is a dumbass sometimes.
He died, what? In the course of the two? He died 6 times?
No. It was definitely more than that because I only started counting during the second one. In the second one, if you include Archer's sacrifices, because it's still Shiro, he threw himself into death at least 5 times. He threw himself...
After, like, several times of them being like, hey, do you want to stop that?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
We'll do it.
At the start, he throws himself in front of...
Saber.
No, well, I'm talking about the second movie. I'm trying to remember where I got that figure of 5 from. He throws himself in front of the shadow thingy to protect Ren. He throws himself in front of Ilya to protect her from the explosion from Salter. He throws himself as Archer. He throws himself in front of the fucking shadow to protect Ren. He doesn't really throw... No, Archer like goes after us. Archer almost fucking murders Assassin. And that would have been amazing to see. Because, like, I know you like Assassin. But I'm sorry, but, like, fuck Assassin. I wanted to see Archer kill his ass.
Well, like, I want to see him die too. I just also like him.
Okay, alright, fine. As long as that's the thing. Did you know Assassin's 7 feet tall?
No. Well, he slouches.
Well, yeah, that's like he's
Yeah.
constantly slouched over. But
Hunched.
he's 7 feet. I'm pretty sure that also...
That reminds me of, like, that you know, he said, you said he was, like, one of those boys. Those, the thing he is. The mask.
The Hassan?
Yeah.
What about
What time period would that have been in?
Mulan.
I didn't say the fucking Huns. I said the Hassan.
Oh, shit.
That's in China. This is fucking the Middle East.
Oh, it's Japan.
Okay, we're gonna gloss right past that because I don't even want to address what you almost just said. No, so the Hassan... Oh, fuck. I'm gonna fuck this up. It was, I believe, shortly after the rise of Islam because they were Islamic.
So it might be the time period where they're like, it has been fossil evidence of giants. Like, not giants in the sense that you would see in, like, 20, 30 feet tall. Like 7, 8, 9, 10 foot tall people.
No. Islam's not nearly that old. No. Even Christianity is only 2,000 years old, dude. Islam came up after Christianity.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it is.
What was the first one? Buddhism?
The first religion... Okay, so the first religion that's continuously practiced, I think, is Hinduism. I think is the earliest religion that is still in practice today. But, like, if you look at, like, some of the early ones that we know of, like the first major civilization is ancient Babylon. So, like, the Babylonian mythology, like, Ishtar, Ereshkigal, you know, a lot of, you know, Gilgamesh, even, Ea, basically, like, the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian, I believe that's the Babylonian, fucking creation myth, is one of the earliest, like, creation myths that we know of. But now it's possible that cultures, it's almost certain that cultures before then had religions, but they didn't write them down. So we don't know today. Or if they did, we can't find it. So, yeah, so the earliest known religion that we have evidence that was actually practiced and we know things about it are the ancient Babylonian myths. Which then turned into a lot of the other major myths, they turned into, well, that they actually spawned a lot of Christian myths, come from ancient Babylonian myths, including like Noah's flood. That comes from Utnapishtim's survival of the flood, which is actually in the legend of the Epic of Gilgamesh. You have Ishtar becomes this other goddess, I can't remember her name, who then becomes Aphrodite, I think, in ancient Greece. So it's a lot of these early religions, like people like to think of like, one religion, it just pops out of nowhere and then it ends one day and then people start practicing a different religion, but that's not how it works. They grow, they evolve, they change over time. As word of mouth spreads and it's basically a giant game of telephone. Every early religion is a big game of telephone. Mm-hmm. So you have them all kind of morphing into different things and becoming different things, and so pretty much when the Romans, I think, when they switched over from a pantheon to Christianity during Constantine, I believe that was pretty much the collapse of the last remnants of ancient Babylonian mythology, because the Romans basically adopted all of their gods from other cultures, including the ancient Greeks, which was a big one, which is when, Zeus became...
I was going to say, yeah, they stole from Greece, pretty much.
Yeah. Hades became Pluto and all this other stuff. So, like, Ares became Mars. Like, you had a lot of that with Roman culture, but as soon as Roman culture switched over to Christianity, that, Catholicism specifically, Roman Catholic, that was pretty much the last gasps of the earliest known religion, Babylonian myth. That was pretty much the last gasps of that dying out. And then they, obviously people didn't just want to go, I don't want to just become a Christian all of a sudden just because the state says I have to. So they started, that's why there's so many Christian religions that like really they have nothing to do with Christianity. They were pretty much just quote unquote pagan religions, or more accurately, ancient Roman, Greek, Greco sort of religions, probably some of them stemming all the way back to ancient Babylon, that essentially became, the Christian leadership were like, oh, that's Christmas now. What? Yeah, that's when Jesus was born. No, it's not. It is now. Fuck you. So it's
we changed it.
We changed it because we wanted to, and so that's where a lot of that comes from. But yeah, the oldest religion that's still practiced to this day, I believe, is Hinduism. And the oldest religion that we have any records of would be the, ancient Babylonian pantheon. Mm. So, yes, but the Hassan they come after the rise of Islam. I don't know how...
Well, they still talk in Christianity, even mostly... is David and Goliath in the New or Old Testament,
I think the Old Testament.
That's what I thought.
Because the New Testament was all Jesus' teachings, I believe.
Right.
And I don't know if Jesus would have been
boy
David.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
My boy David.
No, yeah, that was the same time period as all the shitty kings.
Yeah.
Well, like, even back then,
all
Goliath.
Well, yeah, I mean, but all of that, again, stems
Giant
from
people.
Other religions of the time. That stems from ancient Babylonian myths. That stems from ancient Greco myths, things like that, Greco-Roman. So, the whole thing about fossilized giants, like, there are people who are 7 feet tall that exist.
Well,
it's not common.
Like 10.
No. Like, obviously, like, Heracles being 10 or 12 goddamn feet tall, able to pick up Ilya, who I think is, like, 4'10", 4'8", able to pick her up and just put her on his shoulder, and then with one hand place her down on the ground. Like, nobody was ever that big.
Well, okay, I'm gathering all of the information I'm talking about from Armor Skeptic.
Yeah, no, I know he did his whole thing on where the Nephilim myths came from and the giant bones and stuff like that. But
where the giant bones come from?
The greater scientific community, from everything I've seen, basically says that we've not found any giant bones that belong to human,
But that was a
human beings that are real that we've been able to test. So it's the consensus among the scientific community is that any giant humanoid skeletons are hoaxes.
Stupid.
So
I want there to be giants.
yeah, well, there are people that are big enough
Yeah.
because there's I'm trying to remember there's a disorder that can happen with your chromosomes in men that can make them make men like upwards of 7 feet. I think the largest I'm gonna look
Men
this up.
specifically?
Yeah, because it's I think it's something to do with the Y chromosome.
Oh yeah, there's 7 foot people.
7 feet is not even that big,
9'7"
really. You're talking about 9 foot 7 inches. I don't know what you're.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was the tallest
Anti-dwarfism.
person in the world? He was 8 feet 11.1 inches. Robert Wadlow. Look at this fucking dude.
Oh, I've seen. Oh, a different guy. That's
This guy is just shy of. He's
Unsettlingly.
less than an inch shy of 9 feet.
I could probably dunk on him.
Oh my
I
god!
don't-
Stop. You need
I
to
don't
see
think so.
right now. We're going completely off the rails here. Let's try to jump back on topic. So, do you guys now? I'm not going to speak up here. I want to hear what you guys have to think because I have I've done enough reading that I have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. But what do you guys have as far as predictions for the next movie? Because I want to hear what you guys think. Morgan, let's start with you.
I think some bullshit's gonna happen with Shiro. He's gonna unlock some hidden ability that he didn't know he had.
Well, kind of
And then he's
with
gonna-
Archer's arm, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's gonna somehow, I'm thinking somehow he's gonna get to Saber because Saber had those glasses on for some reason, and then they broke, and it made it seem dramatic that her glasses kind of broke.
Yeah, her visor thing that she
Yes.
had on. Yeah.
Was that
It
just
ma-
her taking it off, maybe?
It just kind I don't know. I
guess
feel like
we'll find out.
it dramatized that a lot.
Yeah, they definitely made a big deal out of it, but I wonder almost if they made a big deal out of it because that was the moment that her and Shiro meet eye to eye, and he truly realizes that it is undoubtedly her.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that might be why they made a big deal out of that scene.
Yeah, it probably did it so it was she saw it was him and was like, I'm not gonna kill you.
But do you think that? So you think Shiro's gonna get Saber back? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I mean,
I feel like that's
crazier
something
things
that-
have happened. Do you think he needs to get her back to win?
Well, I mean, considering that the Shadow has Berserker, Saber, and possibly Archer, and
Doesn't have Archer. I can
Oh.
tell you that much for sure.
Okay, well, possibly Lancer.
Yeah.
Then fucking probably.
But again, remember who the Shadow is. Shadow is Sakura.
Or yeah, he could get through to Sakura and be like, "It's good, bitch. Missed this dick.
Fuck. All right.
Missed this dick."
Okay, we'll come back to you. Anyway, Kate, what do you think? I'm gonna ignore that.
Yeah.
What do you think
Lancer's.
for predictions for the next film? How do you think everything's gonna
I think
go?
she's gonna die. I think Sakura's gonna die. She's gonna die. She has to die.
You don't think they're gonna be able to save her?
I don't think so.
You not believe her.
I don't believe it. I think that. Well, I'd like to think that he'll save her with the Grail, but I don't think you can do anything with the Grail. It's just a big liar.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's hard to say because
Or is
you
it you
still
get the
have don't forget, you still have Ilya alive and helping them.
Well, yeah.
Like I feel like she shouldn't be counted out because Ilia being the Grail, the proper Grail vessel, Ilia's also more plugged into what's going on.
Well, maybe she'll like take the Grail into herself.
What do you think Kyrie's gonna do in the next one?
I hope he dies. I want him to go bye-bye.
I hope he dies.
I'm done with him.
You're just so done with Kira's bullshit.
I don't like him.
I'm surprised a little bit by that.
Well, I don't like, Zoken.
Well, nobody likes
Like,
Zoken.
I don't like slimy, just, But, like,
Kiri's a schemer, but I wouldn't say slimy. At least not literally physically, like Zoken probably is.
So here's my logic behind that is.
I feel like if you touch Zoken, you're gonna pull your hand back and it's gonna be wet.
Yeah, yeah. He's just pretty gross. I think.
But like Sakura also.
Remember that first scene when she brings Shiro to the temple and they go talk to him. The first thing he says was like, "I'm surprised you're here after my many invitations." And I was like, "Oh, I got a creepy pedo vibe from that."
Well, you do remember he was Rin's caretaker after her father passed away.
Right.
He was also her mentor.
Comment still stands.
In Magecraft.
Slimy dude.
I
just got some bad
and plus
vibes.
also he like tried to fucking sacrifice Rand in Blade Works by like turning her into the Grail and shit. I mean, but also like, I'll jump back to you, Morgan. Several characters, Sakura and Ryder, probably most importantly, but also even Zoken had said it, seem awfully worried about Kirei. Like, Kirei's doing some shit behind the scenes. They've mentioned very specifically, like, by name, they're like, oh, like, Zoken mentioned him, and he's like, oh, the priest, is he going to be a man fit to speak of gospel, what's he going to do? And then, Ryder's like, I think the one we should be afraid of is the priest and not Zoken. And even Sakura's like, I agree with you, but I'm not afraid of the priest because I can beat his ass. What do you think, like, Kira's barely been in it so far. What do you think is going to be...
Well, he's definitely going to make an appearance in the third movie, for sure.
Well, yeah, he's going to pop up at least. But, like, how do you think he's going to impact it? Based on what we know about him. And his abilities from Zero. Being a professional fucking mage killer.
Doesn't he have a servant?
He did. But it was Lancer. Lancer died.
Oh, yeah, and then Lancer got
Yeah, Lancer got murked.
Yeah, that's I really don't know.
you're like, Kira's gonna probably be up to some shit, but I don't even know where to begin with it.
He's probably gonna do some bullshit.
Do you think he's going to be, do you think he's going to be in favor of bringing Sakura's Grail into the world, or Ilia's Grail into the world? Because I feel like you can't have both.
Oh, Ilia, for sure.
He's going to try to bring Ilia's in?
Because he was totally fine with Tosuka killing Sakura.
That's a fair point. What do you think? Have you just zoned out?
No.
Okay.
Well, yes. But
I
think
you just woke up, like, huh?
I zoned out of that conversation, but I'm on track.
Okay, cool.
I think that...
Because we know Kirei's a schemer.
I was gonna say, I think
And smart.
he's gonna, like, try and get the Grail again. There's no way he's not gonna just, like... He's gonna, like, maybe try and steal it from whoever wins it if they ever get
So
to
do you
there.
think he's going to back one side over another?
Well, probably the side that he thinks is gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know who that'd be. He probably, like, Shiro, just because he...
Because he's gone to him a couple of times already in the movie?
that. And,
Even
like,
though Shiro's like, I'd rather die than eat a meal with you. And he's like,
yeah,
well,
he's just like has a
I'm
strange...
offering to pay for your food, dude. Like, you don't have to be such a dick.
I don't want to eat your gross spicy food.
I need to try that spicy mapo tofu.
Yeah, they eat that in Angel Beats.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe if
It actually looks pretty good.
maybe if I ever do a Kirei cosplay, I could probably pull it off with a mullet.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're. I was thinking exactly that in the movie was like when you have your hair like longer.
Yeah, when I
than
have
that.
it longer and when I
It,
when
like,
I wear,
does
when
the
I get my
swoop-
hat to like kind of cement my hair.
Yeah.
Because like if
the swoop that he has.
yeah, because if I like keep my hair long and just roll out of bed and then throw on a suit, I look like Kiritsugu. But if I roll out of bed with my hair long, throw on my hat, wear that all day, and then take my hat off, my hair looks more like Kirei.
Yeah.
So I could probably go either way.
I think he's gonna try and steal the Grail.
You think he's gonna steal the Grail?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because like, why wouldn't he? He got cheated out of it.
Yeah, you stole it, you cheater! You cheater! You beat me in the fight and then
stole
shot
it
me in the
and then
fucking heart.
you
But
broke
yeah,
it.
you bitch.
Ooh.
Kiritsugu fucking straight up blew the dude's heart out of his chest, and the Grail gave him a new one. He got enough shit from the Grail, like.
Yeah.
But no, because do you remember at the end of Zero, Kirei like puts his hand over his chest. He's like, I don't have a heartbeat anymore, and Gilgamesh is just like, I mean, from everything I can tell, you're dead right now. But like, whatever.
But you're just chilling.
And Gilgamesh is just like sitting there, dick
So he
out,
just
like
doesn't
chilling.
have fun.
Yes, at the end of Zero, remember he was like completely naked, just chilling on a freaking rock.
Right. I love Gilgamesh.
I arrive in Fuyuki.
Oh, that's another one. Like,
Mongrel slain, dick out. I'm forcibly removed from Fuyuki.
I suppose he's not. I was gonna say like, yeah, he's not a slimy character, so of course I love him. He's
Gilgamesh?
no, because he's like a sociopath. So
Yeah, Gilgamesh. It's hard to say whether he's a sociopath or a psychopath. Kirei's a psychopath. Undoubtedly, he's a psychopath. But, and so is Rinosuke.
Oh, Caster. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the serial killer from Zero.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he was
Very,
also
very much so.
suffering from severe psychosis.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, he was also really mentally ill. Yeah.
And that's
Which is
it's interesting
unfortunate.
because I got into a conversation with Patrick about it, and I said, who do you think is more evil, Zoken, Kirei, or Rinosuke? And he said he thinks Caster and Rinosuke are the most evil. And I said, well, do you think they're even cognitively aware, really, of the impact they're having on others?
No.
Like, Kirei, if not, like, Kirei's whole character arc is he is a man who thinks he is incapable of experiencing joy or pleasure. And then finds out, oh no, I am capable of it. But the thing that gives me pleasure is literally causing others to suffer immeasurably. Which is, I think, also why, Morgan, when Rin's like, oh, I'll kill Sakura, he had this, like, weird grin on his face. Like, he's like, oh, this is gonna be so fucking good. Oh, God, you fucking kill your sister. Oh.
Yes.
You kill that stupid bitch. Oh. Cry for me.
Oh.
Literally, he, like, when
Yeah, he
he
did.
hands her the dagger at the end of Zero and she starts crying, he's like, I like this. I can get used to this shit.
Whoa.
God, he's a weird dude. He's a weird dude. But I can also empathize with him, because one of his whole things is, like, at the start of fucking Zero, like, you find out, like, 2 days before he gets approached, or before he gets, like, he becomes a master, by having his command seals appear, his wife dies. And it's like,
Who's...
Kirei. And you only hear about it. You never meet her. But you hear about it through when Rise is talking to Tokiyomi. He's like, oh, I feel kind of bad almost. Like, he agreed to be, to learn magecraft, like, without even arguing. And Rise is like, Oh, he'd jump into a church, church if the fire ordered it. He'd jump into
a church, you know?
I wouldn't jump into a church. He'd jump into a fire if the church ordered it, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, oh, it'll be good for him, you know, a change of scenery. He just lost his wife 2 days ago. And it's like, cool, man. Now, I know a little bit more. I don't want to spoil too much about that because, like, I actually know some details about how his wife died.
Well, I have no memory of his wife dying.
Well, because they literally just mention it one time offhand.
Okay,
and then it's never brought up again.
Then it makes sense.
Which is kind of, like, weird and fucked. But, like, it just goes to show how much it affected him. Like, literally not at all. But, like, I know some secrets. I know some behind-the-scenes deets about the details surrounding his wife dying. Which is interesting, and it has a lot to do with him as a character, but I don't know when those might be revealed in one of the animes, so I'm not going to spoil anything, just in case. Yeah, God. Well, what have we not touched on? We touched on Shiro's arc. What do you think of... Is Sakura a villain?
No. Victim.
Morgan, is Sakura a villain?
Victim.
Is she an antagonist?
Yeah. You can be an antagonist and not be a villain, you know?
No, I agree. Basically, an antagonist is anybody who opposes an antagonist.
Yeah.
But, like, is she an antagonist?
Yeah.
Does she oppose the protagonist?
Kind of.
She serves as an obstacle. She serves as an obstacle for him, but I don't know. I think in the third movie she will be an antagonist. In the third one, she will. The first one...
But does it need to be someone who's, like, opposing... Or does it just... Like, can they just be an obstacle? Like...
I don't know. Would you say that the cliff and the boulder in 127 Hours was an antagonist?
I don't want to talk about it.
It was an obstacle, but it wasn't an antagonist.
I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
That was a very traumatic movie for me.
Yeah, it was fucked.
I watched that when I was... When did they offer psychology in high school?
I watched it in psych in high school. It's senior year.
I literally had to, like... That's Anxiety, the movie. I had to, like, put in headphones and, like, not pay attention.
I watched the whole thing, and it traumatized me. Anyway,
Yeah.
Because
you're stupid.
Because I was trying to be a good student. Fuck you.
Screw that. I was gonna throw up. No.
Yeah, and you said you think Sakura's gonna die.
Yeah. I just
Morgan,
don't think there's
Sakura's
any
gonna
way.
live?
There's just no way she's gonna.
Like
she's got bugs in her.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I really think she's gonna die. I think, like, there's no...
You think Sakura's gonna die? Do you think Shiro's gonna die? I'm asking genuinely.
I know I'm saying that because, like, he has.
Shiro be the type of
he
simp.
He did 6 times.
He'd be the type of simp.
So, like, maybe he's probably gonna die 3 more times.
No, but I mean, like, die. Like, permadeath.
Well, he couldn't.
He's probably gonna, like, sacrifice himself for Sakura or something.
Like, that's the thing. Is like, why could he not?
Archer exists.
But Archer exists
off
whether he survives or not.
But that is him.
No.
Yeah? What?
Well, Archer is Shiro, but Archer exists outside of time.
He's just a legend. Or he's just, like, a story from...
So he exists whether...
That's like saying King
whether
Arthur's
the Shiro from... Whether Shiro lives through the events of Stay Night or not. Because because again, fate follows string theory. So there's always a universe in which Archer became Archer. And that's why my theory...
Oh, so there's a loophole in it.
So my theory about... And
maybe he'll, like, sacrifice
people
himself.
are opposed to this, but, like, my theory is the Archer that appears in Blade Works is the Shiro from Stay Night. The Archer that appears in Heaven's Feel is the Shiro from Blade Works. That's my theory. Because the Archer that appears in Heaven's Feel is fundamentally different in character from the Archer that appears in Blade Works. Like, the Heaven's Feel Archer and the Blade Works Archer, they appear to be 2 different people. You don't think so?
No, I don't. No. Like, what do you mean, personality-wise?
I mean, sort of, yeah. Like, in terms of the way, in terms of their personality, because, like, here's the thing. Archer in Blade Works, he remains very cool and aloof and kind of, like, he's not openly hostile towards Shiro for a while. But as soon as Archer's literally first interaction with Shiro in this timeline, he's immediately just like the two immediately hate each other's guts. And
I don't remember that.
It's well because he's putting on the fucking facade for Rin, you know? So like it's hard to I just get this distinct feeling. Plus he seems less driven by his personal desire to escape the loop than Blade Works Archer was.
Yeah, I guess he's more aiming to protect everyone.
Yeah. So it's like he seems like where Shiro was headed at the end of Blade Works. In my opinion. Now, people have said that that the Archer from Fate Stay Night, the Archer from Blade Works, and the Archer from Heaven's Feel are all the same Archer, and he's from none of the three timelines. That's what the majority of the fan base agrees on. They say, oh, he can't possibly be Shiro from the Fate timeline, because from the Fate timeline, he winds up as this thing after the war. He can't be the Shiro from the Blade Works timeline, because at the end of the Blade Works timeline, he grows up with Rin and realizes ideals and doesn't become Archer. Even though literally if you watch Blade Works, yes, he does become Archer. He literally does. He straight up does become Archer. That's literally the post-credit after the epilogue, that's literally what it is. It's him as Archer later in life, after he sacrificed himself, saying like, yeah, like that was me. I went through that. I fought myself. And I fucking won, but I lost because, like, I still wound up as me. Nothing I did could change that. That was my fate. Yeah. Again, the core concept of the fucking show being fate.
Ooh, title.
Oh, hey, he said it. He said
I guess they never say Stay Night. Why is it called that? What is that?
I have no idea. I think it's just a Japanese. It might be like a translation thing, but... That was the name of the visual novel, Fate Stay Night.
Well, yeah,
but I mean, like,
why?
Well, I don't know, probably because of the Japanese thing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't speak Japanese well enough yet to know. I think Shiro could die without it. Like, I think Archer could exist and also Shiro could die. I think both. I think those things.
I just don't know about that.
Can both be true.
I just don't. I don't think that's possible, but I also don't know how it works completely.
Yeah. Because also Archer from Blade Works didn't seem to recall that he'd already fought himself and lost. But then Archer at the end did. He's like, yeah, I fought myself and I won.
Lost.
I won and then lost. So it's like, it makes me think that the Archers from the different timelines are not the same one that was in the timeline.
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, this is getting complicated. So, Morgan, do you think, you said something, you alluded to the idea Shiro might sacrifice himself for Sakura?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like somehow it's gonna end to where it's like them there, like everyone else is fighting and whatnot, and it's just them.
Like in the Grail or something?
Or, yeah, maybe in the Grail, maybe he, like, something like that. And then he sacrificed his own life to save Sakura.
Do you Shiro's gotta be the one that wins the Grail. Like, I don't know who. Like, what the point would be if someone else
won the Grail in Blade Works. Nobody won.
You feel so?
So it's like it could be that nobody wins.
I guess it could be that.
I think that's the whole point of the Grail War, is that really nobody wins. Like, that's kind of the point.
Everybody dies and nobody wins.
Plus, Shiro's no longer a master, so I don't know. I mean, unless he does get Saber back. But I don't know if that'll reinstate. I guess it would reinstate his title as a master. Technically, I think he could become Ryder's master. I think so. Because Ryder's contract with Sakura ended because she used up her last command seal. And Shiro...
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And Shiro never used up all of his command seals. He never used any of them. So, theoretically, Shiro could probably pact with Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And wasn't the seal implied to be, like, go take care of Shiro?
We have no idea.
That's what it's got. What else would it be? What else does she care about? Like,
well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what her command seal was. I think we're going to find that out in the third movie. You think it's what for her to
be the protector or be like the servant of Shiro?
You think she sent Ryder to basically go help Shiro?
What the fuck else would she?
Yeah,
like
true.
I don't know, like logically what she would do with it. She wouldn't send it back to. Oh, he's dead. Fuck you, Shinji. Yeah, like
she wouldn't send it back to Shinji.
You wouldn't be like, grandfather, take, like, she wouldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe she'd give it to Rin.
That's the other thing.
I don't know,
man. Do we think Rin's gonna survive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys think she will?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she just, I don't know. She's too cool to die.
She dies in one of the timelines.
I think so.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but
yeah,
I don't think she will.
You think she's gonna live? So
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as so who we got? We've got Shiro, Sakura, Rin, Ilya.
Oh, I think Ilya's gonna die.
You think Ilya's gonna die?
I just feel like she's gonna die.
What do you think?
That's
Morgan?
probably me being like.
Yeah, probably.
So who do we got?
She
we got
did die
Ilya,
already.
So we got Ilya. You guys both agree Ilya's probably gonna die. Mm-hmm. You guys think Rin's gonna live?
She's a kid, man. Like, I know she's a great.
She's 18, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she's 18. She
Why
was
does she
8
look
at
like
the
a
start of
kid?
0. She doesn't age correctly. She's half human, half homunculus. But also, that means that, like... So, Airi's lifespan was only 10 years. As a half human, half homunculus, her lifespan's only supposed to be about double the length of a regular homunculus. So, like, she's probably only supposed to live to 20 before dying of natural causes anyway.
She got, like, 2 years.
So, like...
Anyway.
Even if she
Okay,
survived
so,
it,
like,
she
yeah.
probably only got 2 years left. So, you guys both think that Ilya's gonna die. You guys both think Rin's gonna live. What was the consensus on Sakura?
Die. She's gonna die.
You think she's gonna die? Morgan, do you think she's gonna die?
I think she's gonna live.
You think she's gonna live, so you guys are split on that one. And Shiro, you think he's gonna live, you think he's gonna die? You think he's gonna sacrifice for Sakura?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are basically
I don't
reversed.
think
So
that's-
you think
that's
Sakura's
not
gonna die and
unlikely.
Shiro's gonna live, and you think Shiro's gonna live. Are you Shiro's gonna die and Sakura's gonna live?
It would make sense for him to sacrifice himself, but like I just don't understand
How he
the
even
thing.
could?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Archer
she's
did.
too far gone and shit. And
No,
also
no,
because
no.
of
Yeah.
the Archer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't get it.
I mean,
Like, I get it, but I don't like it.
That makes sense. As far as antagonists, do we think Zoken's gonna live?
I hope not.
Morgan, what do you think?
He can't.
Fuck Soken.
So you don't even have that opinion whether he's gonna live or die. You just fuck Zoken.
I genuinely do not care about him, but also I hope he dies. Like he can't live. He's too old.
How about Kirei? Is Kirei gonna live or die?
He's probably gonna live.
You're gonna live, fucking bitch ass. You don't think Lancer Alter's gonna show up and fucking kill him? Like Lancer did in Blade Works?
I wish.
Do you think Sakura can actually defeat him?
Defeat Kirei?
Yeah.
Well, as the shadow thing, yeah.
Well, she seemed to think that based on the scene, she seemed to almost be implying that she could do it herself.
Well, I think that wasn't her talking. Because remember, also...
She flashed later
in
between
that,
the two
in that
personalities,
scene.
yeah.
In the bathroom.
After she had to wash her hands. Because she became so horny she couldn't stand up. You ever get so horny you just fall down?
That is just a truly ridiculous scene that I to this day don't understand.
Well, again,
Like, what?
Her
Is it
brain,
the bugs?
Yeah, it's the fucking worms in her brain are literally eating her pleasure
Oh,
center.
yeah. Okay, yep.
Like,
yep.
it's literally eating the fucking dopamine center, and it's
She's
like...
what?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's why she... Oh, that sucks.
What?
That she loses taste.
Yeah. She starts losing her fucking senses and shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she's not in good shape. Who's left? Gilgamesh is dead. He got no screen time in this one.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Sucks.
He appeared to say, like, a few words.
What'd he say at the
And then he
beginning?
got his ass eaten. What'd he say to her on the...
Street.
The street? I don't know, but watching it again this time, I think... Remember when he approached her before he got killed, and he said, your reprieve is up. This is why I told you to die while you had the chance.
He probably told her to kill herself.
Probably what he told her on the street is you're gonna become a
and
monster.
then she was like, I almost slit my wrist. Yeah. Yeah,
maybe that
why
was...
else? I mean, not... there's many
Why
reasons.
else would she try to kill herself? Her
would she
life
try to
was
kill
so
herself?
wonderful other than that.
But, she was going through all that and was alive and, do you think... I don't know, I'm, getting real deep into this, but, what do you... Why did you... What do you think she went to, what happened that made her go to Shiro? Was that...
What do you mean,
the first time, when she shows up at his house and is like,
house,
what a...
after he hurts his arm?
Yeah. I bet that's, after she... Well,
because she already realized she had feelings for him because of the high jumping.
Well, yeah. So it was probably just, stuff with, Shinji.
Well, she said to him that the whole reason she kept going over was because she was too afraid to stand up to her grandfather.
Oh.
But that's a good question. Why would she randomly show up at one of her older brother's, archery club teammates' houses just because he got injured and couldn't be in the archery club? I wonder if we'll find that out in the third one. Why? That's a good question. Why did she do that? Huh.
My guess is it probably wasn't... I mean, I guess it could have to do with her and her grandfather, but, I think that it was Shinji stuff, and she was like, I gotta get out of here.
Well, I assume she was trying to escape the fucking bullshit at the house.
Yeah.
We got whether what, but the question for me more is what was the thing she was specifically trying to escape? I guess, or why him?
Yeah.
Why Shiro of all people?
Well, probably because she already knows that he's pretty
somebody who would. What did she say? So I knew you were somebody who'd never betray anyone. Something like that.
Like someone who can protect her.
He protect. He attack. He'd throw himself in front of a fucking sword because he's a dumbass.
So many times, 6 at least.
Oh my god. Well, yeah. One thing's for certain. This next movie's gonna be fucking wild.
It escalated, so I don't think it's gonna stop.
It escalated so much between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because literally, we went to see 1. We're like, that was good. That was creepy.
That was good. Yeah, that was messed up. And then at the end of the second one, we were like,
literally every single person that was with us. You guys probably both remember this. Literally, everybody just turned to look at me, and I'm like,
I
didn't know. I'm sorry. I
Just,
haven't seen this. I was sitting in the theater with you guys.
So much horrific shit in a row at the end, and then you're like,
And then it just fucking hard cuts to fucking credits.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody just turned to me, and I'm like, no, no, no.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I had no idea.
I mean, I regret nothing, but also, this is not my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next one, and I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody's thoughts about it afterward, too.
I can't believe it's only in a week.
I'm losing my fucking mind.
Yo.
And they bumped it up by 15 minutes. So it's not 7:30 anymore, it's 7:15.
Weird. Okay.
Because of the because it's 2 hours and they can't have certain businesses aren't allowed to have people past 9:30.
Stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, well, seems like we talked about a lot of what we need to talk about. I mean, do you guys have any kind of closing thoughts for this episode? Like any final things, final last minute predictions, last minute kind of comments about, the Heavensfield movies, anything about how they tie into anything else before we go? Well, I mean, we'll be able to, a lot of people will be able to kind of speak their mind next week as well when we see the third one, but there's going to be a lot more of us around this table.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be the
good.
three of us, Leslie, Eric, right?
Eric and Jimmy.
Eric and Joe.
And
Jimmy.
probably Patrick.
And Patrick.
So.
Well, he said maybe, yeah.
Yeah, he seemed kind of uncertain as to whether he was going to, but yeah, it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's opinions, but also that means that because there's gonna be so many people, everybody's gonna have a lot less time individually to be able to kind of share their thoughts. So
that's fine. I'm a listener.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I guess if there's nothing else, then I guess we'll wrap this here. Heavens Feel gives me the Heavens Feels.
God, I fucking hate you.
Not as much as I hate myself. But yeah, I mean this. I made the decision just before we wrap. I did make the decision. I'm going to hold off on doing an official review of the Heavensfield timeline until all 3 movies are released and I have my hands on them so I can watch them, take notes, and do a proper review.
So it's going to be this one and the next one are like the hour ones?
These are going to be Weeb hours, so these are going to be Spoilercasts, basically just conversational stuff.
Cool.
I don't have the... I'm just going to wait and just do the fucking Heavensfield review as one unit. It's 3 movies, but that's how I reviewed, Bladeworks and Zero. They're 2 seasons, but I reviewed them as one, as Bladeworks as 1 unit, despite being 2 seasons, and Zero as 1 unit, despite being 2 seasons. So I'm gonna just do the same thing with Heavensfield. It's no different than Bladeworks. It's actually shorter.
Okay. Because
it's only gonna be 6 hours as opposed to 10. So, and with that, I guess we will draw this episode to close. So I appreciate you guys coming on. It was a fun inaugural episode to have you on, Kate.
Yeah.
We'll I want to still have you on at some point.
I want to do Angel Beats.
We'll do Angel Beats. I want to have you on for some of the Weeb hours where they're going to be more topic based. We're going to be getting into those soon because I'm going to want to talk about things like thematic. Well, one thing is that I think you're going to be interested in is I want to do an episode on paragons and characters displaying different personality traits that likely tie back into mental illnesses and things like that. And I want to have you on for that one. Shiro's going to be one that I want to talk about a lot with his PTSD.
Bachelor's of Psychology here.
His Survivor's Guild, shit like that. So I feel like that's going to be one that you're going to want to be on. I'm probably going to have an episode once we do more of the Fates, including some of the spin-offs, FGO, Apocrypha, things like that. I'm probably going to have an episode, like a Weeb hour, that's going to be discussing the theme of fate in Fate. Because it is a really common theme, and it seems to stretch across all of them. So, basically discuss where it shows up, what it means, what each of the different spin-offs has to say about it. Show specific examples of characters accepting their fate versus fighting against it, things like that. So, but we will get into that. So yeah, we'll. So I appreciate you coming on, Morgan. It was nice to see you again.
Gang shit.
Okay. All right. I'll probably have you on for some of the Fate, like some of the Blade Works discussion episodes as well. And we will see both of you next week. Again, that's gonna be fucking chaos.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, this has been episode 3 of...
This has been...
Shut
Sorry.
up. Guys,
God damn.
this has been episode 3 of Weeb Hour, not Weeb Review. Weeb Hour. You fucking dumbasses. Episode 3, Dunzo.
Do you want to get the subtitle to it as well?
I'm your boy Coochie Man, along with...
Please continue.
How the fuck do I introduce Kate? This has been Coochie Man,
And the Coochie
Connor,
Man.
and
That's
Ho ass bitch ass ho ass bitch.
just
yeah.
this other bitch.
What do you want your fucking title to be? None of this is canon, by the way. This is just for this episode.
What's
Lightning
the Blue
McQueen.
Saber's name?
Which one? That's
This?
Lancer. That's
That's what I meant.
Lancer.
Cuchulainn.
Oh, I learned.
We have Coochie Man,
Cuchulainn.
Connor,
Cuchulainn.
and Cuchulainn 7.
You can do...
Cuchulainn,
Dude, no, there are multiple ways to pronounce it.
The right way.
There's many ways that are the
The
right way.
Alright, guys, this has been it.
Oh my God.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks. Thanks for joining us. Fucking Jesus Christ. Keep watching that Weeb shit, and if you enjoyed this, whatever this was, feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Give us a follow, and I think you can still comment on SoundCloud. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, give us a follow on SoundCloud. That's probably where I put most of the effort. YouTube I just kind of do as an obligatory, so more people have access to it. Yeah, so appreciate you guys taking the time, and thanks for joining us this week, and we will be back next week with Heavensfield 3 Spoilercast. Super excited, and that's really it. So thank you for joining us, and until next time, guys, keep watching that Weeb shit.
Bye.
Okay. Do you want to say some weird, creepy goodbye as well? Oh, God.
I can smell you.
Bye.